Welcome back. Today is lesson 8, and you remember lesson 6 was dealing with melodic seconds and thirds. Lesson 7 was harmonic seconds and thirds. Today we're going to expand our interval knowledge and deal with melodic fourths and fifths. And before we get into the material of what's in the book, let's just use our deductive reasoning skills and try and figure this out. So we already know from lessons 6 and 7 that two notes right next to each other, two white notes on the piano, is measured as a second. That's the measurement of these two notes, to the distance. We remember C to E is a third, and that has one note in between. So if we go to the next note up, well, we had a second, then we went to a third, so going to a fourth now has two notes in between, and a fifth has three notes in between. So, following the book now, play these melodic fourths and fifths. Listen to the sound of each interval. So, go ahead and take a look at the exercise at the top of page 28. It has a repeat sign, so you're going to play it twice. There is no dynamic marking. We're going to say our default dynamic marking is like a mezzo forte, like a medium loud anyways. Just the average, just a regular old volume. So playing this, go ahead and pause it and practice. Alright, good practice, and I'll play it now. Alright, hopefully yours sounds like that. Good King Wenceslas. Now, we have a new thing here that we haven't seen before. It says in the beginning of the song, above the notes, moderately fast. So they're telling you a tempo or a speed to play this song. They're not giving you a specific number yet. We'll get to that eventually. It's not important. But it says moderately fast. So Good King Wenceslas starts with your fourth finger on F. It's forte, which is loud. Goes to your left hand on the second line, which starts on F with your second finger. It is the standard grand staff, both hands in their C position formula. So find the fourths before you play. So go ahead and take a look at Good King Wenceslas and then practice it. Find the fourths, and when you unpause, I will give you the answers. Hopefully you paused it and practiced. Now let's find the fourths. If you found a fourth between the F and the C in measure 2, then you were correct. And if you found the fourth between the F and C in measure 6, then you were correct. Those are the two fourths in this piece. Now, I will play Good King Wenceslas. My fifth, and it says seriously, which is kind of ambiguous, but my interpretation of that is not too fast, not too slow, kind of a moving pace, but not not hurried. All right, find the fifths before you play. There's no repeat here. Now, P, remember, is piano. So this is right hand soft, left hand soft. Oh, but look, there's a new dynamic marking introduced in measure 7. F means loud, forte. So the last 4 notes here are loud. And P is soft or piano. So let's just think about that once. How much contrast should there be if we know that P is right now our softest marking and forte, F, is our loudest marking, and we know that we have a mezzo forte, which is a medium loud. I'm going to kind of let the cat out of the bag and tell you we also have a mezzo piano, which is medium soft. So if you think about this as your 4 current dynamic markings that you know, from piano to forte, they are separated by 2 other dynamic markings. So you want to show enough contrast between these, because if I didn't have enough contrast, then the listener won't perceive that. So it's important to make sure your dynamics are reflecting of all of your knowledge of dynamics, and that the range has to demonstrate that. All right. Find the fifths before you play. We'll go ahead and pause this, find the fifths, and practice it. And when you unpause it, I will deliver the answers. All right. Hopefully you've practiced. Starts out thumb, middle C, piano. The fifths are right here at the end of measure 1 into measure 2. That's a fifth from C to G. And down here it is a fifth in the left hand from C to G in measures 5 and 6. So, my fifth, seriously. I didn't talk about this beforehand, but I wanted to address it now. The quarter rest on beat 1 of measure 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's how I'm counting these measures from the beginning. Anyways, the quarter rest on beat 1. So you have the silence and then the 3 quarter notes afterwards. So just the bottom line. Rest. Now, the first part piano, second part forte. Rest. All right. Page 29, measuring melodic fourths and fifths. Just like we talked about at the beginning. When you skip 2 white keys, the interval is a fourth. Fourths go from line to space on the music, or from space to line. We're measuring these from the bottom up. When you skip 3 white keys, the interval is a fifth. Fifths go from line to line, or from space to space. One thing I want you to know here, though, is look at the pattern. The second went from line to space or space to line. The third went line to line or space to space. It was the same, stacked on top of each other. The fourth goes from line to space or space to line. The fifth is from line to line with a line in between, or from space to space with a space in between. So the second and the fourth went line space or space line, the even intervals. The odd intervals, the third and the fifth, went line line or space space. So the odd intervals are on the same line or the same space. The even intervals are on the opposites, always. Hopefully that helps. Number 1 exercise, page 29. Write the names of the keys a fourth apart on this keyboard, beginning with the lowest F. Well, the lowest F on mine is this one. So you go ahead and fill all that out. The fourths all going up from the F. And I'll give you the answers now. So, starting on my piano, from my lowest F, the next fourth is B, E, A, D, G, C, F, B, E, A, D, G, C, F, B. Exercise 2. Write the names of the keys a fifth apart on this keyboard, beginning with the lowest F. A fifth apart. So, from F is C, G, D, A, E, B, F, C, G, D, A. Identify these intervals. If the interval moves up, write up in the top box. If it moves down, write down in the top box. Write the name of the interval in the lower box. If the notes do not move up or down, write same note. So go ahead and pause this, fill all that out for 3 if it's up or down in the top box, and the number of the interval in the bottom box. Now, look closely because we are doing seconds and thirds and fourths and fifths. But remember, even intervals, seconds and fourths that we know so far, go line to space or space to line when you're looking at them. This one is on a line, that one is on a space. So this first interval can't be an odd interval because odd intervals are on the same line, line, or space, space. So pause it, fill this out, and now the answers will magically be delivered. First one, up a second, down a third, up a fourth, down a fifth, up a fifth, down a fourth. Second line, bass clef. Up a fifth, down a fifth, up a fourth, down a third, up a second, same note. Well, that concludes lesson 7 was the last one. That's the conclusion of lesson 8. Thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you are enjoying these. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you. Page 28. And page 29.